brown food tastes good. This wasn't just a catchphrase. It was Ann Burrell's battle cry against a world that tried to dim her fire. With platinum spikes and electric energy, she became America's culinary rock star, transforming from struggling line cook to beloved Food Network icon. Yet behind the camera flashes lay a journey of shattered dreams, hidden battles, and relentless authenticity. Her story proves that success isn't linear. It's forged in the fires of failure and fierce self-discovery. The foundation of fire. What shapes a warrior? Ann Burrell's foundation was built on grit and determination from day one. Growing up in Cazenovia, New York, she learned early that life doesn't hand you anything. You have to fight for every opportunity. Her family struggled with alcoholism, creating an environment where strength wasn't optional. It was survival. From childhood, Ann possessed an uncontainable energy that some found overwhelming. Teachers complained she was too much. Classmates called her loud. But Ann refused to shrink herself to fit others' comfort zones. This early rejection taught her a crucial lesson. Your authentic self is your greatest weapon, even when others can't handle it. Her passion for cooking emerged as both escape and expression. In the kitchen, her intensity became an asset, not a liability. She could channel her boundless energy into creating something beautiful, something that brought joy to others. The kitchen became her sanctuary, her stage, her battlefield. Ann understood that greatness requires discomfort. While others sought easy paths, she chose the road that would forge her into something unbreakable. Her childhood struggles weren't obstacles. They were the foundation stones of her future empire. Your intensity isn't a flaw to fix, it's a fire to fuel your dreams. Embrace what makes you different. It's your competitive advantage. Culinary boot camp. Picture this. A young woman walking into elite NYC kitchens like Felidia and Savoy, facing a wall of skeptical male chefs who saw her as an intruder in their sacred space. Ann Burrell didn't just enter the culinary world, she stormed it. Despite facing brutal hazing, impossible hours, and wages that barely covered rent, the Culinary Institute of America had given her technical skills, and her training in Italy had refined her palate, but nothing prepared her for the psychological warfare of professional kitchens. Male colleagues tested her resolve daily, giving her the worst stations, the hardest tasks, hoping she'd crack under pressure. But Ann thrived in chaos. Where others saw hostility, she saw opportunity to prove herself. She worked longer, studied harder, and pushed herself beyond every limit. Her imposter syndrome became fuel for excellence. Every doubt drove her to work twice as hard as anyone else. The breakthrough came when Mario Batali recognized her precision and flair, choosing her as his sous chef for Iron Chef America in 2005. This wasn't luck. It was the inevitable result of relentless preparation meeting opportunity. Ann's hunger was insatiable. I couldn't learn fast enough, couldn't do enough. This wasn't perfectionism. It was passion in its purest form. Hunger is your greatest ingredient. Season everything with relentless ambition. Let your passion be louder than their doubt. Television stardom and hidden struggles. Success has a shadow, and Ann Burrell learned this lesson painfully. Hosting Secrets of a Restaurant Chef in 2008 and co-creating Worst Cooks in America in 2010 made her a household name. 15 seasons, over 27 runs, Emmy nominations, and 673,000 Instagram followers by every metric she had made it. But television fame is a beautiful prison. The cameras captured her infectious energy and signature spikes, but they couldn't see the loneliness festering behind her big personality mask. As one friend later revealed, people with big personalities sometimes mask things. The pressure to maintain her public persona while managing private struggles became overwhelming. Work-life balance collapsed under the weight of expectations. Managing a restaurant and TV is impossible, she admitted, but admitting weakness felt like betrayal to her warrior image. Anne discovered that success without authenticity is just an elaborate performance. The very energy that made her famous also isolated her. People saw the character, not the person. She was surrounded by admirers, but starved for genuine connection. Her struggle reveals a universal truth. External validation can't fill internal voids. The applause was loud, but the silence afterward was deafening. Fame amplifies everything, including the parts of yourself you're trying to hide. Build success on authentic foundations, not performative facades. When dreams burn down, every warrior faces their greatest defeat, and Anne's came in 2017 with Phil and Anne's Good Time Lounge. This Brooklyn restaurant represented more than business. It was her dream of creating a space where food, friendship, and fun converged. Instead, it became her most public failure. The partnership with her friend and co-owner imploded spectacularly. What started as shared vision devolved into legal warfare, with communication happening only through attorneys. The restaurant closed within a year, joining the graveyard of failed Food Network star ventures alongside Guy Fieri and Carla Hall's NYC disasters. For someone who built her identity on success, this failure felt like character assassination. The food industry is unforgiving. One high-profile flop can haunt you forever. Critics whispered that television chefs couldn't handle real restaurant pressure. But Anne's response revealed her true character. Instead of hiding in shame, she pivoted to teaching at the Institute of Culinary Education and authored 2 New York Times best-selling cookbooks. She transformed public failure into private purpose, using her experience to mentor the next generation. Her resilience philosophy was simple: failure refocuses you. She understood that setbacks aren't endings, they're redirections towards something better. Failure isn't your finale, it's your fuel for the next chapter. Let your setbacks become your comebacks. Love found and lost. Behind every strong person is a story of love that shaped them. Anne's romantic journey was marked by both heartbreak and hope, teaching her that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage in its purest form. Her public relationship with chef Corin Griefson ended in 2012, leaving Anne heartbroken and questioning her ability to balance career ambition with personal connection. The breakup was devastating, but it taught her crucial lessons about authenticity in relationships. At 49, when many had written off her romantic prospects, Anne found love on Bumble with Stuart Claxton. This relationship was different, built on genuine connection rather than shared industry pressures. Stuart brought stability, and his son Javier brought unexpected joy as Anne embraced stepmotherhood. "I finally have something real to share," she said, radiating a peace that friends hadn't seen before. Her final years were marked by this newfound contentment. She was calm, happy, a new energy, according to those closest to her. Anne's love story proves that timing isn't everything, readiness is. She had to become whole herself before she could share her life authentically with another. Her relationship with Stuart wasn't about completing her, it was about complementing the complete person she had become. Love arrives when you're ready to receive it, not when you're desperate to need it. Work on becoming the person you want to attract. The quest for reinvention. What do you do when you've conquered your field but still feel unfulfilled? At 55, Ann Burrell shocked everyone by leaving Worst Cooks in America in 2024 to pursue improv comedy. "I've got more to do in life," she declared, proving that reinvention has no expiration date. This wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a midlife awakening. Anne recognized that growth requires discomfort, and comfort zones are creativity killers. While others her age were settling into routine, she was starting fresh in a completely different arena. Improv comedy demanded everything cooking had taught her: timing, intuition, collaboration, and the ability to create something from nothing. But it also required new skills: vulnerability, spontaneity, and the courage to fail publicly without a safety net. Her decision confused industry insiders who couldn't understand why she'd leave a successful television career for amateur comedy shows. But Anne understood something they didn't. Success without growth is just expensive stagnation. The tragedy is that she died just hours after her debut improv performance on June 16, 2025. Pills were found beside her, suggesting the pressure of reinvention may have overwhelmed her. Her quest for renewal became her final act. Reinvention isn't about abandoning who you are. It's about discovering who you're becoming. Never stop growing, even when growth feels scary. The warrior's final battle. Ann Burrell's death shocked the culinary world and revealed the hidden battles even our strongest warriors face. Found with pills beside her just hours after her improv debut, her passing highlighted the dangerous intersection of public success and private struggle. The tributes poured in immediately. Rachel Ray posted heartbroken. Robert Irvine called her a radiant spirit, and fans worldwide shared stories of how Anne's energy had touched their lives. But beneath the celebration of her life lay uncomfortable questions about the pressures that may have contributed to her death. Anne had spent decades being everyone's source of strength: the chef who could fix any dish, the teacher who could train any cook, the personality who could energize any room. But who was her source of strength when the cameras stopped rolling? Her final act, pursuing improv comedy, now takes on deeper meaning. Perhaps it wasn't just about career reinvention, but about finding a space where she could be vulnerable, where failure was expected and perfection wasn't demanded. The warrior who taught America that brown food tastes good couldn't find a way to make her own pain palatable. Her death reminds us that success doesn't immunize anyone against suffering. Even warriors need warriors. Check on your strong friends. Strength isn't about suffering alone. It's about knowing when to ask for help. The kitchen philosophy. Ann Burrell's approach to cooking was really a philosophy about living. Own Your Kitchen and Your Life wasn't just about culinary technique. It was about taking control of your destiny, embracing your mistakes, and never apologizing for your authentic self. In the kitchen, Anne taught that perfection was the enemy of flavor. She encouraged home cooks to taste, adjust, and trust their instincts rather than follow recipes blindly. This philosophy extended beyond food. She lived her life the same way, constantly tasting, adjusting, and trusting her gut. Her signature phrase, "brown food tastes good," challenged culinary pretensions and celebrated the beauty of simplicity. While other chefs chased molecular gastronomy and Instagram-worthy presentations, Anne championed the seared, the caramelized, the deeply flavored, the foods that nourish the soul, not just the eyes. She believed cooking was an act of love, not performance. Her teaching style was tough but nurturing, pushing students beyond their comfort zones while building their confidence. She saw potential in everyone and refused to let anyone settle for mediocrity. Anne's kitchen was a place of transformation, not just of ingredients, but of people. She understood that cooking teaches life skills, patience, creativity, resilience, and the ability to turn simple ingredients into something extraordinary. Cook with your heart, season with your soul, and never apologize for your flavor. Authenticity is the secret ingredient that makes everything better. Legacy of fire. What does a life well lived look like? Anne Burrell's legacy isn't measured in awards or accolades. It's measured in the countless people she inspired to embrace their own fire. From struggling culinary students to home cooks afraid of their own kitchens, Anne gave people permission to be bold. Her impact on the culinary world was revolutionary. She proved that personality could be as important as technique, that teaching could be as valuable as performing, and that authenticity always trumps perfection. She opened doors for other unconventional chefs who didn't fit the traditional mold. But her greatest legacy might be the courage she gave others to be unapologetically themselves. In a world that constantly tries to dim our light, Anne blazed brighter. She showed that being too much is better than being too little, that standing out beats blending in. Her students carry her lessons forward, not just cooking techniques, but life philosophies. They learn to taste fearlessly, season boldly, and never apologize for their unique flavor. They learn that mistakes are just opportunities to create something new. Anne's fire continues burning in every kitchen where someone chooses courage over conformity, flavor over fashion, authenticity over approval. Her spirit lives on in every person who refuses to shrink themselves to fit others' expectations. Your fire isn't meant to be contained, it's meant to light the way for others. Burn bright enough to illuminate the path for those behind you. The unfinished recipe. Anne Burrell's story reminds us that life is an unfinished recipe. We're constantly adding ingredients, adjusting flavors, and discovering new combinations. Her journey from small-town girl to culinary icon wasn't a straight line. It was a complex dish with layers of triumph, failure, love, loss, and ultimately transformation. She taught us that success isn't about reaching a destination. It's about embracing the journey with all its messy, beautiful, complicated flavors. Her struggles with loneliness, her failed restaurant, her quest for reinvention, these weren't flaws in her story. They were essential ingredients that made her human. Anne's final chapter, pursuing improv comedy at 55, shows us that it's never too late to add new ingredients to our life recipe. Even if that chapter was tragically cut short, it demonstrates the courage required to keep growing, keep risking, keep becoming. Her death reminds us that even the strongest among us are fragile, that success doesn't solve everything, and that we all need support systems to sustain us through life's challenges. But her life reminds us that authenticity is worth fighting for, that our unique flavors matter, and that bold living beats safe existing. The recipe isn't finished. It never is. We keep cooking, keep tasting, keep adjusting until our final breath. Life is an unfinished recipe. Keep adding bold flavors until the very end. Your story is still being written. Make it deliciously authentic. Anne Burrell taught us to sear life at full heat, scars, sizzle, and all. Her knife cut through expectations. Her laughter defied darkness, and her fire lit the way for countless others. If this platinum-spiked force from Casanova could rebuild after broken dreams and find love after heartbreak, what's stopping you? Turn up the flame, burn bright, and remember, brown food and bold living both taste good. Like, comment, and subscribe to Rise and Inspire for more stories that fuel your journey.